Chapter 91. Qin Ming unleashed the power of his assassination team and in half an hour found He Menggu, who was collecting cardboard, next to a rubbish bin under a certain flyover. When he rushed over with Bai Yuchun, He Menggu was a little surprised. He Menggu hurried away with the cardboard and said, "Pure, there are many young people here, and there might be someone you know. Don't get too close to me. If you run into someone you know, they will laugh at you and bully you again." Bai Yuchun refused to let go of her hand and held on to He Menggu, saying, "No, mother, you are my mother. I don't care how much people laugh at me, it doesn't change the fact that you are my mother." A youthful girl, hugging a dirty old woman and crying, looked very incongruous indeed, and many people around her stopped to watch. But Bai Yuchun wouldn't care. She was already used to the discriminatory gaze of onlookers. Qin Ming silently took the cardboard and walked to a less crowded area, saying, "Auntie, why don't you look for Pure? My son and daughter-in-law don't care about you, but Pure won't care about you." Tears welled up in the corners of her eyes as she said, "How can I still cause trouble for Pure? Since I was a child, I have never had a good life. When she grew up, she thought I was sick and had a lot of debts. If it wasn't for the good people in the community, what would happen to her now, I can't even imagine. I just hate that I am incapable of doing it myself. I can't drag Pure down anymore." Qin Ming said, "At least Pure's annual school fees are saved by you, aren't they? Auntie, you've also been taking care of Pure. We're all family, don't say such things." Bai Yuchun nodded her head and said, "Mom, it's only right for me to be filial to you." Hearing this, He Menggu felt even more guilty inside, and the two mothers and daughters hugged each other and bawled. The two mothers and daughters spoke to each other for a while longer before Qin Ming arranged a hotel for the two mothers and daughters so that they could have a place to stay tonight. He said, "I have already paid for the room, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about your brother and sister-in-law's side. In a couple of days I'll get a house for you to live in, so that Auntie's housing problem is also solved." Bai Yuchun was stunned and looked at Qin Ming, hurriedly saying, "That's your client's money, how can you embezzle it?" "Qin Ming, it's easy to get into trouble, that's punishable by jail." Qin Ming was stunned, and then he remembered that in order to bluff his sister-in-law, Qin Ming said that the money in the card was not his own, which also fell on Bai Yuchun's ears. Bai Yuchun said, "Qin Ming, I don't know how to thank you and repay you, but the problem of housing, you must not. I will work more jobs and rent a house for my mother. I owe you too much, and I'm afraid I won't be able to pay you back one day." Qin Ming smiled lightly, "What a nice girl." But he had a lot of money. He didn't even think that this help was anything. Helping out with a room for only a few $100s, what was it? Yet Qin Ming could understand, for a poor student like Bai Yuchun, a few $100s could live for a month. It would take more than a week of working. After all, Qin Ming had been poor and destitute too. He didn't want Bai Yuchun to feel too guilty, so he pretended to joke and said, "Don't worry, I won't use the money that isn't my own. It doesn't really cost much to rent a house outside, I can still maintain it. When I rent a house, I'll hide you in it and have a golden nest, ha ha ha." Bai Yuchun's pretty face suddenly tinged with a blush as she silently lowered her head. "Senior, you're making fun of me again." Qin Ming was only joking, but Bai Yuchun did not laugh out loud. He grinned and said, "All right, I'll go back first." Bai Yuchun was startled and said, "This is a double room with 2 beds. It's late, the dormitory should be closed, you're not staying the night." At this moment, He Menggu also came out of the bathroom and said, "Yes. Qin Ming, it's late, and it's not convenient to take the bus. I'll sleep in the same bed with Pure and you'll sleep in the same bed, won't that be fine? You've spent money, and you can't waste it all on us." Qin Ming saw that they were so insistent, and when he looked at the time, it was after 11 o'clock, and it would be too early in the morning to go back, so he really couldn't get into the dormitory. He then nodded his head and agreed. Qin Ming had also been busy all day today, his mind and body were tired. He took a shower and came out. He Menggu was already asleep, snoring, and Bai Yuchun was chatting with someone on her mobile phone. Qin Ming walked over and saw that it was an online loan, a campus loan. The company's main business is to provide a wide range of products and services to the market. Qin Ming asked, "What are you doing?" Bai Yuchun was startled and hurriedly put away her phone and said, "No, nothing, I was talking to someone else." I'm going to take a shower." Qin Ming pulled her back and asked, "You want to borrow money from someone?" Bai Yuchun looked at Qin Ming's cold, serious expression and aggressive questioning, and was instantly cowed, shrinking her neck and her mind wandering as she said, Didn't you say you wanted to rent a house? I've checked, and an ordinary two-room house in Guangcheng costs more than $4,000 for a deposit of 1 to 3. I want to borrow a little to help you share the pressure." Qin Ming frowned. "You can't pay back the money, they want you to pay in flesh, and you're going to seek death." "I will work and I will pay it back." Bai Yuchun said aggrievedly, "It's not easy for you to earn money, and I want to help you. The more I owe you, and I'm afraid I won't be able to pay it back in my lifetime." Qin Ming asked curiously, "Why don't you accept it openly? Many beautiful women nowadays are very open about accepting favors from others. I can afford to rent the house, I won't be burdened at all." Bai Yuchun was silent for a moment. She bit her lip and said, "Anything in this world, as long as it is not earned by one's own labor, should not be taken with peace of mind." Qin Ming was truly speechless. Although Bai Yuchun was soft on the outside, she would always have a stubborn side inside. This made Qin Ming admire her even more. People have to rely on themselves, it is not good to think of relying on others all the time. Qin Ming said, "It's not like I'm giving it to my aunt to live in, it's not like I'm giving it to you. My family will be coming to Guangzhou in July and they need a place to live, so auntie is helping me clean up the house. It's not a loss for me either. If you can't pay back the money and you get chased for a debt, isn't that adding to your mother's problems again?" Bai Yuchun knew that Qin Ming had her best interests at heart and had said so. She also sighed silently and said, "All right then, I will go and delete those people who have taken out loans." Qin Ming saw her delete the campus lenders before she was relieved, while saying, "If you want to borrow money, borrow it from me. I work with a very powerful person who takes care of me, so at least borrowing money from someone I know won't be a threat. That Sunshine Green Bird Lending Company pit last time, have you forgotten?" Bai Yuchun pursed her lips happily and nodded her head in response, I know. I won't go back to unreliable people for loans in the future. By the way, Qin Ming, the richest man who saved my mother is the rich man you know, right? Why else did you ask his secretary to pick me up?" Qin Ming smiled, "Yeah, what a coincidence." Bai Yuchun nuzzled her lips suspiciously, "It always feels like you're hiding something from me." Qin Ming gave a harumph and said, "Okay, I'll be honest, I'm actually the rich guy." He. Bai Yuchun laughed poutingly, not believing it at all, and said, "Stop it. If you were that rich, would you still need to study?" Qin Ming was amused. "Rich people are all keen on reading, don't you know?" Bai Yuchun was curious, "Isn't studying just to earn money? What's the point of studying so hard when you have money?" Qin Ming would have been just as confused before, but now he knew very well why he still had to study when he had money. It was true to the old saying, it was easy to fight a kingdom but hard to keep it. He had to continue his studies and learn more so that he could keep the kingdom left to him by his righteous father. The next day, Qin Ming got up early. He didn't greet Bai Yuchun, he just got up and left. He had something important to do today. Chapter 92. Qin Ming originally wanted to bring Bai Yuchun along to see the house, but did not want her to see her choking operation of buying a house with full payment. Moreover, for something like buying a house, to be honest, it was Qin Ming's first time himself and he was a bit nervous about it. He used to fantasize about buying a 3-bedroom, 2-room house, bringing his parents out to live, then having children with Li Meng, and living out his life in an uneventful manner. Of course, it was all in the past tense. He lives in a big villa estate and his wife is about to return, so at first glance it seems like he is a scum who abandoned his bad wife when he got rich. Qin Ming's daily pastime is to read brainy online novels in which the protagonists have all kinds of systems and cultivation, and when they get rich, they all go to the sales department to pretend to be rich, and he thinks that he has inherited so much property from his righteous father, so he has to go and throw a lot of money around to have a bit of fun. He had just arrived at the sales department when the beautiful saleswoman asked very politely, "Hello sir, may I ask what kind of house you want to buy?" "Oh, please sit down. Please have some tea, sir. This is the brochure of the property our company belongs to, please take a look at it first." The corners of Qin Ming's mouth twitched. This was so polite, it was not at all like what he had imagined. There were cakes and tea ready, the sales beauty showed a light smile every now and then, it really made his heart happy. Qin Ming said, "I want to buy a house near the University City, do you have any properties there?" The saleswoman took the information and said, "Yes, sir, please take a look, there are flats and residential communities, please take a look." Qin Ming came to the model on the sand table. The environment is very good, sitting north to south, the price is 40,000 yuan per square foot, this price in the city or the University City to go near, belong to the cheap, have seen the model house also feel good. Qin Ming intends to buy a larger one, after all, rich, have to be comfortable. The company's main business is to provide a wide range of products and services to the market. But Qin Ming always felt empty in his heart. How come no one came to mock him for being poor, no one stopped him from buying a house, no one gave him a slap in the face, and then he didn't buy a house at the drop of a hat to surprise everyone and leave a legend of a big tycoon? Reality is not the same as fiction after all. Qin Ming said to himself. He unknowingly walked to the entrance, next to the Rolls-Royce car, and Song Ying slightly bowed. "Young master, do you need me to arrange a decoration team?" Qin Ming lamented, "All right, leave it to you, I can trust your vision." Qin Ming got into the car, and a pair of bodyguard teams got into the car behind him to follow, and the caravan went out of sight for a while. "Ah! So handsome!" Just as Qin Ming left, the female salesmen in the sales department all let out screams. "What a big list, Ali, you are so lucky, the commission is quite a lot. That's a Rolls-Royce, and so many bodyguards, which young master of a luxurious family. It's so imposing. It's the first time I've seen someone buy a house in just a few minutes, $5 million isn't money." Just now when the motorcade stopped at the door, I had a feeling that a super tycoon would come, really too rich, but dressed so low-key, and the secretary is so young and pretty. Hey, it's worth sleeping with him for one night if I can ride in that Rolls-Royce. Even though he was dressed plainly, surprisingly, he couldn't hide his earthy aura, and that deep look in his eyes, as if he could see through people at a glance. You really can't find such a low-key tycoon these days. Hey, how come we don't have as good a life as Ali? Ali even had a few conversations with him, so stupid, can't even get a phone call or a Weibo. Ah! There was another scream from the women in the sales department. Qin Ming came to the Green Island district in the city. As the name says, this district has a good green environment, the current occupancy rate is just over half, there are also recreational facilities such as tennis courts, swimming pools and bicycle paths. The most satisfying thing is that this is not far from the university town, and it only takes 10 minutes or so to get there by bike. Qin Ming saw the house and was satisfied with it, so he asked Song Ying to come and renovate it. Even if he didn't need it in the future, he could leave it for his sister to come and stay when she was at university. Song Ying went to take care of the renovation, and Qin Ming planned to go back to school. As soon as he thought of his sister, his mobile phone rang and it was a message from her. "Brother, you're so bad. How dare you treat Sister Li Meng like that, greedy for the new, abandoning Sister Li Meng who has been with you for 2 years for money. I'm going to hate you." Qin Ming's face was dark. "Li Meng, are you done with this torment? Is this tormenting to his family?" He felt the need to break up with Li Meng once and for all, otherwise he would never have peace. He sent back a message, "Have you come to Guangzhou? Where are you?" His sister Qin Susu quickly texted back, "Yeah, I'm here to see you after the college entrance exams." "Humph, bastard old brother, rich and you've abandoned your bad wife." Qin Susu sent Qin Ming a location, which was actually in a market not far away. Qin Ming hurried over there. Qin Ming had been working part-time for 3 years in college and had never returned home. Later, his family came to visit him and also met Li Meng. It must be said that the former Li Meng was still a relatively well-behaved girl, the kind of girl that people often think of as a good girl, right? But who would have thought that Li Meng would become so gold-digging? When Qin Ming arrived at the entrance of a KFC, he saw that his sister was licking the ice cream as if she was a small cat. Qin Susu was also dressed plainly, jeans with a round-neck t-shirt, a country bumpkin, her skin slightly tanned, carrying a ragged backpack, but the mobile phone cord hanging on her chest, connected to an Apple Max, was particularly conspicuous, and did not fit in with her whole style. Qin Ming said, "What's wrong? You didn't tell me when you came to Guangzhou. I went to the station to pick you up." Qin Susu did not answer and said directly, "Brother, don't break up with Sister Li Meng, okay? Sister Li Meng is so good, why do you want to abandon her?" Qin Ming grimaced and said, "You children should not be involved in adults' affairs." Qin Susu became upset and said, "How am I young? I am 18 years old." Qin Ming said, "Your breasts are small. Anyway, you should stay out of my business with Li Meng." When her sister heard Qin Ming call her small-breasted, she immediately exploded, like a cat that had been provoked, furious and angry, but she could only lick the ice cream to cool her anger and muttered, "Humph, in a few months, I will also come to Guangcheng to study in university. I'll be a university student like my brother." Qin Ming looked around and asked, "Are you the only one here? Didn't Big Brother and Mum and Dad come?" Qin Susu said, "Big Brother is here, we arrived last night. Uncle Zhao introduced him to the construction site to pull bricks, and he can earn 3,000 yuan a month. He is now going to meet the contractor." Qin Ming's face was dark. His elder brother had become a bricklayer, but with a salary of 3,000 yuan, he could only live in Guangzhou. Qin Ming was about to ask his sister how she knew that he had broken up with Li Meng. But suddenly he was caught by Li Meng's shrill voice. "You stinky godly liar, I've searched so hard for you, I'll tear down your sign today so that you can cheat people again and again." Chapter 93. The first of these is a fortune-telling stall at a street intersection. Li Meng threw an old fortune-teller's belongings on the ground, and the signboard Zhang Zhengxian's dream interpretation fell on the ground. Li Meng pointed at him like a shrew. "How did you tell my fortune before? You said that I have a rich destiny and that I am the destiny of a rich wife. Do you know how miserable I've been lately? I've been in a detention center, I've been blackmailed on a trip, and I almost had an accident when I came back." That Zhang Zhenxian stroked his beard, old and calm, and really had the air of a worldly man, saying, "Infinite Heavenly Father, Miss Li, the road is long. Oops, Miss Li, please don't hit anyone. Ah, my beard. Hit again, I'll call the police, you shrew." Li Meng grabbed the bench on the ground and smashed it towards that Zhang Laodao. Suddenly her hand stopped and she could not draw the bench. Li Meng turned around and saw that it was Qin Ming, who had grabbed her hand. Li Meng said loudly, "Let go of me. What does it matter to you if I hit a godly man? Qin Ming said, nothing? You caused so much trouble before and caused me to have such a big misunderstanding with Haitang's family. I haven't settled the score with you yet. Fortune tellers are just trying to make a living. I just can't stand it. Exasperated, Li Meng said, phew, you're still in charge of me? You don't say anything about this godly man cheating people, but you take action when I'm looking for justice. Why do you care so much about me if you don't go and coax your rich white beauty Nai Haitang? The old Taoist fortune teller said excitedly, I'm not lying, I, Zhang Zhong, have been telling fortunes all my life, and I always say what I have counted. Qin Ming didn't really believe in fortune telling either, but he was just angry that Li Meng was gossiping in his sister's ear, and he didn't want the old Taoist to be beaten up and put in hospital at his age. He said, old man, you can go. Zhang Zhenxian didn't leave, but took Qin Ming's hand, felt his bones for a while, and suddenly exclaimed, young man, you have the face of 9 to 5. Qin Ming narrowed his eyes. Was this a hint that he would be a 9 to 5 wage earner in the future? Although working 9 to 5 was cooler than the 996 that was popular nowadays, Qin Ming still found it ridiculous. Qin Ming is now the richest man in the world. Well, but Chang Hongzi is not dead yet, he is still just an heir, everything is not too stable, low profile and modest. Qin Ming let go of Li Meng's hand and said, old man, you want to fool even me. Zhang Zhenxian stroked his beard and distinguished Qin Ming's face carefully, I, old Taoist, I have been telling fortunes and reading faces all my life, all based on chance. Young man, today you and I are meeting by chance. You have a broad forehead, a straight middle, long and narrow eyes with large open corners, the face of a male, and large earlobes with a fortune. Ouch, you shrew, hit me again and I really will call the police. As soon as Li Meng was free, she grabbed the stool and hit it again towards the old man who was telling fortunes. Qin Ming could not stand it, pulled Li Meng, said, do not fight, fortune telling this kind of thing originally you love me, you believe 100%. Blame who? Blame it on your stupidity. He? You. Li Meng was furious and said angrily, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have broken up with you. Qin Ming said disdainfully, that's a refreshing excuse, you don't like me being poor, and what's the matter with a fortune teller? Li Meng said, a month ago, I had a dream. I dreamt that I was sleeping on a sea of clouds, and when I came out to go shopping, I ran into the stinking old Taoist, a dead god, and I asked him to interpret the dream. He told me that I was destined to be a rich wife and enjoy all the glory and wealth in the future. I was so happy that I gave him a red envelope of $500. A month ago, he had given Li Meng 500 yuan because she wanted to buy a big brand of perfume, but it turned out that she had failed to do so. The $500 he had intended to send home for his father's medical treatment was squandered by Li Meng like this, or this kind of deceitful godly man. He swung his stool and chased after Zhang Zhenxian. Damn, you godly man liar, I'll beat you to death. Go, young man, calm down, the fee for dream interpretation is given as you wish. She gave me so much, I can only accept. Besides, I'm going to lose my life if I let the cat out of the bag, so there's nothing wrong with charging a little money. Qin Ming didn't listen to him, so he gave a flurry of blows and beat away that Zhang Zhenxian before he calmed down. After beating away the godly man, the two were also wide-eyed and couldn't talk about the same thing. Qin Ming said, Li Meng, are you finished? Last time you faked a pregnancy and got suspended from school, but you still don't know how to stop. Now you're cheating on my sister, do you really think I don't have a temper? Li Meng grunted, why are you being mean to me? You've only broken up with me a few days ago. You've only been broken up with me for a few days, and you've already hooked up with Nei Haitang? You're lying. It makes sense for you to go after Nei Haitang, it's true love. I'm with Yang Wei and I'm being blamed by all of you. What? The more Qin Ming said, the more irritated he became, saying, "You're being unreasonable, you're justified in cheating on me. Get out." Li Meng became even more hysterical and pulled at Qin Ming. "How many days have you been broken up with me? How much do you like me in your heart? Have you ever kept me? I just want to be like other women, to use good things, to eat good things, I want to live a better life. What's wrong with that? Why don't you just leave me alone?" Qin Ming pushed Li Meng away angrily and scolded, "The one who is wrong is you, not me." Li Meng was so soft and weak that she was pushed and shoved to the ground at once, her palms were rubbed with skin, and she broke down in tears. Suddenly, Qin Susu came over and was very angry when she saw the scene. "Huh? Brother, you actually did something to Sister Li Meng, you are so abominable, Sister Li Meng is already so pitiful." Li Meng cried and scolded, "Go find your Nai Haitang, what are you doing here? Huh? Did I provoke you? Did I provoke you?" Qin Ming scolded, "You said something to my sister that you shouldn't have said and did something that you shouldn't have done, so if you didn't provoke me, what did you do?" Qin Susu said anxiously, "Brother. Did my elder brother and I come to Guang City last night and had nowhere to go in the middle of the night, and Sister Li Meng helped us get a hotel so we could settle down. This morning, she invited me to breakfast and brought me to KFC for lunch. Is that something you shouldn't do? Sister Li Meng broke up with you, but she still treats me as well as before. What's wrong with her? On the contrary, you're the one who's charmed by other girls." Qin Ming was shocked. Yesterday it was Li Meng who had placed the two of them, her sister and elder brother, who had just arrived in Guangcheng. Qin Ming's face was ruthless as he said, "Li Meng, what is your conspiracy?" Li Meng smiled coldly and said, "Conspiracy? Isn't that what's going on? Am I not trying to divide your brother and sister relationship? Can't you see that? I failed, you figured it out, is that all right? I can go now, can't I?" Li Meng walked away without saying a word, clutching her bleeding palm. Inexplicably, Qin Ming looked a little uncomfortable. Could it really be that he had misunderstood Li Meng? Qin Susu looked at Li Meng and then at Qin Ming. She was so angry that she stomped her foot, clenched her pink fist and cursed, "Brother! What are you doing? Sister Li Meng has never said anything bad about you from the beginning to the end. She only said two things, that you broke up and that you liked a rich woman called Nai Haitang. Isn't what she said the truth?" Qin Ming was speechless. It was really the truth. He looked at Li Meng's back and thought to himself that he had really misjudged her this time. Qin Ming asked, "Sister, how did you meet Li Meng yesterday? Why did she help you arrange a hotel?" Chapter 94. Qin Susu said pathetically, "We took the bus to the passenger station in the early hours of yesterday morning and there was nowhere to go when we came out. Big brother didn't have any money again, and my wallet was stolen at some point. We happened to run into Sister Li Meng who was returning from a trip and came out of the station, or Sister Li Meng recognized us and saw that we hadn't eaten, so she treated us to a meal of beef noodles, which was so good. Later, when she heard we had no place to stay, she helped us get a hotel room, and she didn't go home last night either, she slept with me. I asked about her and you, second brother, and realized that you broke up and you like someone else. That's all." Qin Ming listened, feeling that Li Meng really hadn't done anything bad either, and said, "It's me who misunderstood her." Qin Susu slapped Qin Ming angrily and said, "Of course, stupid old brother, do you know how good Sister Li Meng is? You don't cherish her, you like the new and hate the old. Mom will scold you if she knows. Mom always says that you will be satisfied if you and Sister Li Meng have a family in the city. You are now like this." Qin Ming sighed. He was tempted to say that it was Li Meng who had cheated on him, but the words came to his lips and he could not say them. After all, he had loved, and if Li Meng had not denigrated him, why should he denigrate his former lover? The two of them are the same. The first time I saw him, I thought he'd be better off if he didn't insult him and mess around. In front of the pharmacy, Li Meng had just treated the abrasion on her palm. Suddenly a Mercedes Maybach appeared in front of Li Meng. Qin Ming narrowed his eyes. Li Meng had found a new boyfriend. So rich? A Mercedes Maybach. But then a few men got out of the car, and wasn't the one in the lead Nai Zhengming? His gaze was cold and stern as he and his three companions surrounded Li Meng and said, Miss Li, about your blackmailing our Nai family for 100,000 yuan in hush money last time, as well as making my sister seriously ill because of your tricks, I need to settle the score with you. Li Meng's pupils shrank. Last time she faked her pregnancy, knowing that the Nai family was a wealthy family, she got an entertainment reporter to go to the Nai family to cause trouble in an attempt to stink up the Nai family's reputation, from which she blackmailed them for 100,000 yuan in hush money. But she spent all that 100,000 on a trip and was blackmailed for tens of thousands of dollars. She didn't expect to come back today and have someone from the Nai family come to her door. Li Meng said nervously, the hush money was given to me by you, not robbed by me, so who are you to ask for it back? As for Nai Haitang fainting, it's really ridiculous. Does it matter if I'm pregnant or not, if she faints or not? Nai Zhengming gritted his teeth and said, it's all you're doing. I can't fix Qin Ming, I can't fix you, bitch. Take it away. Li Meng was so frightened that she only used her hands to shield her face. What are you doing? What are you doing? Is there any more law? You're arresting people in broad daylight. Nai Zhengming pooh-poohed, you don't even know what my Nai family is capable of, how dare you go against our family? But the expected roughness did not descend. Li Meng opened her eyes and saw Qin Ming standing in front of her. Li Meng's heart suddenly sank. 2 weeks ago, Qin Ming had always protected her like he was doing now. She was the princess of Qin Ming's world. Although Qin Ming had given her very little, Qin Ming had always given her what he had. If she hadn't listened to that stinking old Taoist's continuous bullshit, she wouldn't have had any beautiful dreams of being a rich wife, day by day, and at the same time became more and more disgusted with Qin Ming's part-time job. Qin Ming. Nai Zhengming saw the visitor and said angrily, you think I don't dare to beat you up? You're really cheap. You've been dumped and you're still a licking dog. You talk about loving my sister, but your body is honest. You went to a hotel and opened a presidential suite for a prostitute as if nothing had happened when my sister was lost, and this is the love you talk about. Qin Ming was slightly embarrassed. Yesterday he was bragging, brother-in-law, can you not take it seriously? What? Brother? You're actually a prostitute. No way, Qin Ming, you actually have money to open a presidential suite? You used to only have cheap hourly rooms. Li Meng and Qin Susu each had a different reaction, and Qin Ming was even more devastated inside. Qin Ming didn't bother to argue and said, if you want to touch her, ask me first. Nai Zhengming laughed back in anger, ha, 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 that's really good. You're asking for death. I'm still worried that I can't get a handle on you and how to sue you in front of my sister. You provide me with material yourself. Qin Ming said disdainfully, humph, a brother who steals his own sister's phone and messes around, what you say, Haitang won't necessarily believe. Nai Zhengming said, that's not necessarily true. You said to ask you first if you want to move her, then fine, I'll ask you. She blackmailed our Nai family last time by faking her pregnancy, and used a large number of entertainment reporters to make threats, dragging down my Nai family's reputation, dragging down my sister's reputation, and finally blackmailed me for 100,000 hush money. If you don't spit out the money today, then I'll see you at the police station. Qin Ming turned his head to look at Li Meng, who felt a pang of weakness and said, I just like money, what's wrong? I've already spent the money, I don't want money, I want a person. Qin Ming secretly shook his head. This woman was really irredeemable. Qin Ming said, $100,000, right? I'll pay it back for her. After all, Li Meng had helped his big brother and little sister last night. Moreover, the 100,000 yuan Qin Ming would make Nai Zhengming pay back tenfold, both to return the favor and to hammer his brother-in-law. Qin Ming had already formed a plan in his mind. Nai Zhengming lit a cigarette and said, "Humph, you're a poor bastard with money. Don't laugh at me, you can't even take out 10,000, and you still have 100,000. Qin Ming said indifferently, "But if you ask for 100,000 from me, then the 11% of your Nai's bathroom group that you wanted before is not safe anymore." Nai Zhengming didn't take the bait at all and said, "Who are you scaring? That was Mr. Ho who helped our Nai family with great kindness and justice. What the hell does that have to do with you? I heard my sister mention that you have an acquaintance in Tiancheng Securities. That person is Dai Gao, right? Ha ha ha, I know him and have even had a drink. However, that Dai Gao has already been fired by Ho Qing, so you still have shit to fall back on." Li Meng and Qin Susu listened with a shock. They both knew that Qin Ming had made money recently, but they didn't expect that Qin Ming's nobleman had been screwed out of office. Nai Zhengming said chestily, "Don't think that just because you know a little bit about something you think you have everything under control and want to use the information to suppress me. Don't be presumptuous, your treacherous plan has already been detected by me." Qin Ming rolled his eyes. What was the point of this brother-in-law's brainstorming? He said, "Since you don't believe me, you can try. Send me your card number." Nai Zhengming really gave Qin Ming his card number, and Qin Ming used mobile banking to transfer 100,000 yuan. Such a rustic operation also stunned Qin Susu and Li Meng. Qin Susu, as her own sister, didn't expect her big brother to do so well in Guangcheng, giving her 100,000 yuan without frowning. No wonder he was so quick to give her pocket money last time. Qin Ming's image in his sister's heart was infinitely higher. And Li Meng's heart was a little more complicated, one for Qin Ming's earning power, and the other for his surprise that Qin Ming was still willing to pay for her. Could it be that he still has lingering feelings for me? That's right, he's definitely disliked as he doesn't fit in with the Nai family. Li Meng suddenly gained strength and confidence, stroking her messy hair and straightening her dress, thinking, "I've only been salted by Yang Wei a few times, but I haven't slept with other men. He wouldn't dislike me, right? Will he spend more money on me if I ask to get back together? This time I ran into him giving alms to a beggar on the roadside, I'll have to hold back." Nai Zhengming was very happy to receive the money and said, "Ha ha, Qin Ming, you scum, you say you like my sister, but in reality you are coupled with this bitch Li Meng, and you are still willing to pay so much money for her. I heard that you helped my sister speculate in the stock market, and my sister gave you $100,000 in reward. Now you've become poor again." Qin Ming didn't bother to pay attention, glanced at Li Meng who was putting on lipstick and said in no good mood, "Come on, follow me, I want to talk to you." Chapter 95. In the Starbucks cafe, Qin Ming was sitting with Li Meng, and his sister Qin Susu was sent aside by Qin Ming. Li Meng just watched Qin Ming help her pay back the money without even frowning. That scene made her heart ache. This pig-headed Qin Ming, if he had that money, what would he do with the Nai family? It would be nice to give it to her to spend. The LV bags, Gucci perfumes, Celine clothes, Cartier watches, Dior jewelry that she wanted, all of them would have been satisfied. She is familiar with Qin Ming, although Qin Ming is poor, but he is willing to spend money for the person he likes, even if he goes to suffer from poverty. This was something that Li Meng liked about Qin Ming, and Li Meng felt that she could ask for a second chance to get back together. Qin Ming looked at Li Meng who was scratching her head at him and said expressionlessly, "There is air conditioning indoors and it is not hot, stop pulling the collar. It's impossible for me to get back together with you, don't try to trick me again like you did last time." Li Meng was exceptionally embarrassed that her ploy had been foiled and, exasperated, she straightened her dress to cover her cleavage. Annoyed, she screamed like a machine gun spray, What are you so proud of, Qin Ming? I gave you a chance and you didn't want it? The boss of the Tiancheng Securities Company, Dai Gao, has been fired and your backer has fallen. Qin Ming, you've become the poor man you used to be again. Qin Ming said very plainly, it doesn't matter, I was already poor, I won't lose anything if I fight back to my original form. I never expect to rely on others all the time. Li Meng heard the implication and hummed, bah, just your ability, bragging. What can 100,000 do? You can't even afford a toilet in Guangzhou, so why are you so proud of yourself? You're no match for Zhao Fugui, even Yang Wei is better than you. Qin Ming laughed and said, so where is Yang Wei now? Did he help you with your troubles? Li Meng crossed her long legs and said angrily, don't mention that piece of shit to me. And you, don't think I'll be grateful for helping me, I don't need money, I need a man, big deal, I'll stay with you for another night, it's not like I've been with you once or twice anyway, 100,000 for one shot is better than $48 for one shot. Qin Ming narrowed his eyes and said, I already have someone I like, please respect yourself. You don't want to be offered? You used to ride on my belly every day, but now you don't like it? Li Meng was ashamed and angry and scolded, humph, Nai Haitang? Her family despises you, are you being cheap? Are you rich? Do you call 100,000 money in their eyes? Is it any different from toilet paper? If you don't have the right family, don't daydream about it. Even if you make some money in the stock market, people know when your backer has fallen. You can't bluff people. Qin Ming said, that's also my business, you don't have to care. This time, I'll help you with the $100,000 hush money, so I'll return the favor you did for my brother and my sister, and we won't owe each other anything in the future. If you don't mess with me again, I won't bother you either. Since ancient times, it was hardest to repay a debt of gratitude, so Qin Ming didn't care about the 100,000 yuan, consider it as repaying the favor. Li Meng said, yeah. You don't even die when you're being mocked and disliked in various ways, you're really a reincarnation of a licking dog. You mocked me for being too poor to love the rich, didn't you? I broke up with Yang Wei, did you even think about me? You didn't even believe me when I faked my pregnancy. Turning around and climbing on Nai Haitang, you're not disliking the poor and loving the rich. Qin Ming ignored Nai Haitang's ridicule, someone like her who had hurt him so badly would not understand. When Qin Ming was at his saddest and most helpless, it was Nai Haitang's smile that healed him, and he would not give up on Nai Haitang as long as she did not leave him. The two can't get along, but Li Meng still has an idea about Qin Ming's money. Li Meng looks at Qin Ming's calmness and equanimity, comparing it to her own wretchedness, and her mood gets harder and harder. She couldn't see Qin Ming well, and she was too jealous of Qin Ming who was living so comfortably after the breakup. He, Qin Ming, used to be her licking dog, and now she disliked her so much that she had nothing to say. Li Meng still carries in her heart the fortune teller's words that she has the life of a rich wife, she is not willing to give up, she always burns inside this one hope, she is the life of being a rich wife. Li Meng got up and walked away, saying viciously, Qin Ming, you wait for me, I will definitely live the life of a rich man. You and Nai Haitang are two different worlds, it's impossible, a poor boy with a princess, this kind of talk can't happen to you. When you have nothing left to lose and are all over the place, you will know that even if no man wants me, no, all the men in the world are dead, I will not turn back to you, a brute bastard, poor Panjun. Li Meng's voice was loud and excited as she got up and approached Qin Ming, picking up her coffee to splash him. Qin Ming, of course, was not willing to be splashed, so he got up and shoved her. Li Meng then screamed and fell to the ground, hugging Qin Ming's thighs, crying and shouting, Qin Ming, you bastard, you don't want me for your mistress. I hate you to death. If you have the guts to kill me, forget it. This crying and screaming immediately alerted people around the cafe to look sideways. This couple had a fight. This man is so ungrateful, isn't he? Did he cheat on you? He's a scumbag. The woman is not bad looking, her body is not bad either, the man is blind. It's not greed, greedy men are the cheapest. Take a picture of it and send it to the top of Nyahan Duanzi. Duanzi has been cool for 800 years. Qin Ming was speechless at Li Meng. This woman had not been so shameless before, but now she was becoming more and more thick-skinned, just like him. He broke away from Li Meng and hurriedly paid for the meal, not bothering to pester her. After Qin Ming left, Li Meng tidied up her clothes, and her eyes showed a treacherous smile. She had an extra bank card in her hand. Wasn't it the card Qin Ming used to use? Li Meng hurriedly rushed to a nearby teller machine. She rubbed her hands together with anxiety in her heart, and then entered her birthday code. It was done. Li Meng suddenly revealed a wildly joyful look. Ha! It's done. Qin Ming, you. What are you doing? The quality to the hissing dream industry NA? Send Ying? The international beautiful industry mutually sick. On the other hand, Qin Ming got rid of Li Meng and walked out of the cafe, only to find Qin Susu staring blankly at a European-style pleated strapless dress by the window of an international luxury brand fashion shop, seeming to like that one dress very much. What girl doesn't like beautiful clothes? Qin Ming was about to go over, but he saw a fat lady entering the shop, pushed her and scolded her. What are you looking at? You can't afford it. Where is this country bumpkin girl from? Qin Susu was so stunned that she didn't know what to do. The fat lady seemed to be menstruating and was particularly angry, pointing at Qin Susu and scolding her. Are you deaf? I told you to get out, did you hear me? Even a poor girl like you comes to this kind of shop, isn't that lowering our class? The fat lady was obviously a regular customer and the shoppers didn't dare to offend her, so they asked, Miss, do you want to buy clothes? Qin Susu was just looking, how could she have the money to buy? She shook her head with a red face and said, I just thought the dress was beautiful, so I got lost in it for a moment. The fat lady rambled on and scolded, if you don't have money, get out, stay in the same room, this poor smell, I think it's dirtying the air. Qin Susu was so overwhelmed by the fat lady's aggressive aura that she couldn't breathe. Qin Ming came in time to protect his sister and said, you run this shop? Can't we even take a look? Damn fat lady, you buy the whole shop and then come and kick people out. The shop girls were all a bit embarrassed, and it was good not to interrupt at such times. When the fat lady looked at her, why was there another poor sour person here? She shouted angrily, what I hate most in my life are you poor people from the countryside. What do you think? What are you doing here? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Cough and buy wine cherry? Click here for more information. Simply cut Lambda Gallery want to play? The Fighter? The company is a member of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. The newest version of the website is available at the Knife. Seoul, June. The actual fact is that the actual people are not only the most effective, but also the most effective. Qin Ming immediately scolded back, you're a fat woman who eats a lot of fat, what clothes are you picking? That dress on you is no different from a pig's body. You're full of shit, did you forget to rinse your mouth after drilling your man's poisonous dragon? What a terrible stench. The fat lady in gold and silver was also furious and said, shopper, how much is the dress she's looking at? The shop assistant was a bit embarrassed, obviously the dress did not fit the fat lady's figure, it was a dress for a slim woman. The shop assistant said, this is the most expensive and newest piece in our chain, from the famous Italian designer, Taylor Barnhart. Barnage's hand, $88,000. The fat lady took out a card and said, wrap it up, I'll buy it. Qin Susu pursed her lips and watched as the dress was then wrapped up by the guide, and she wanted to look at it 2 more times to come, the way her dress was lost in thought. Ha 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 ha, poor pussy, you don't even have the qualifications to look. The fat lady seemed happy, especially seeing Chin Susu's expression fallen, as if she had snatched someone else's beloved object, made her orgasm with excitement. Chin Susu was so angry that she cried. She was just looking, did she need to be so aggressive? Besides, it didn't fit her at all. Such a beautiful dress was a work of art, and it would be a shame to spoil it. With tears in her eyes, she said, "You can't wear it with that figure, what did you buy it for?" The fat lady said disdainfully, "I have money, I can buy whatever I like. I'll buy it and cut it up, can't I? What does a poor country bumpkin like you know? The level of the rich is something you can imagine." Chin Susu was furious when she heard this. "What are you doing cutting up such a beautiful dress? It's not easy for people to make them, but they are all purely handmade designs." When the fat lady saw Chin Susu's anxious look, she became even more excited and laughed, "Ha ha ha, what do you care? Shopper, bring the dress over, I'll cut it up now." The shop assistant couldn't bear it for a while. The dress was displayed in the most prominent position in the shop window. It was obviously a good item and the designer's hard work. To have it trashed so badly by this rich man, that was an insult to the maker. "Stop it!" Chin Ming gave a timely shout, stopping the female shopper's behavior, and he said forcefully, "I'll buy this dress." The crowd was stunned, and the eyes they looked at Chin Ming revealed surprise and admiration. What a domineering man. Chapter 96. Buy. Ha, you can afford to buy? Ha 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 ha, poor. Panjun? Partridge. Common ammonia fatigue? I feel bad when I see poor people in the same store with me. You are still not self-respecting to compete with me? Can you afford to compete with you? An expensive gift is $88,000, how many years do you have to work to earn $88,000? The fat lady laughed back and forth, her eyes full of disdain. "I'm so happy to see you poor." The Pan class. The next widow is a woman. Gnawing fierce ammonia frequency difficult. Sakura. Ugly rose. Begin. Forgiveness and iridium moisture can be mod. The information star. Lottery Huan. Chin Ming disdainfully said, "I have money." The word money has just been exported. Chin Ming's voice sank. "Nima, where is the bank card he has been putting in his pocket?" Chin Ming woke up with a jolt. Just now within the Starbucks cafe, Li Meng finally spill-hugged him, as if the trouser pocket was pulled. It turns out that time was stolen by Li Meng. Fuck. Chin Ming made a big embarrassment. The fat lady shouted, "Where is the money?" Huh? Where's the money? Chin Ming couldn't get it out and said, "What's all the noise? Do you think I don't have money? I have money with one phone call." This luxury store guide and Chin Susu's look at Chin Ming's eyes have changed, so can pretend young man. Chin Ming got through Song Ying's phone and instructed, "Where is it? Get me $1 million to the side of Wanda Plaza." "What? You are so far away? Call the card?" "The card is lost." Chin Ming touched his pocket, more embarrassed. "He just a bank card Chin Ming suddenly felt a lot of emotion. Do not put eggs in a basket, probably this is the truth. Chin Ming immediately called the bank again and lost the bank card, lest all the money be withdrawn. After making the call, Chin Ming said awkwardly to his sister, "Sister, I'm sorry, brother card lost. The money is also temporarily not sent over." Chin Susu did not believe him and felt that Chin Ming was pretending to be too much this time, but also the bank lost? Acting over the top, right? Ha 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 ha. The fat lady laughed so hard that she covered her stomach and leaned against the drying rack. She pointed at Chin Ming and laughed so uncontrollably, "Ha ha ha ha, laughing my ass off, laughing my ass off. Is this guy mentally ill? Ah ha 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 ha. The other female shoppers in the store also cast indifference to Qin Ming. What's wrong with this man? Thought it was a king, but it turned out to be a bronze, and pulled out the phone to call for money. The result is a steal? Can not even send. This is really no money. Do not pretend to be struck by lightning. Qin Ming heart secretly anxious, this dress sister quite like, buy to her as a high school graduation party dress is also good. He thought that Li Meng should not be far away, may go to the nearby bank to get money, there are more than 200,000, the teller machine is not taken out, to get the bank counter, he should be able to recover. He said, sister, you wait for me, I will be right back. Qin Ming hurriedly ran to the nearby bank, he didn't even need to go to the counter to find it, Li Meng was being controlled at the teller machine. Let go of me, what are you doing? This is my boyfriend's card, my boyfriend's money, why don't you withdraw it? I've already withdrawn 10,000, why should I be grabbed? Cut the crap, just now the account holder of this card has lost it, it just so happens that you are here to withdraw money, the internal system has sent out an alert, you stole it, right? Bullshit, this is my boyfriend's. We are so in love, he asked me to come and withdraw some money. Qin Ming just came to the bank and saw this scene, and thanks to him just now the bank lost, and Li Meng just so deadly, stole the card immediately to withdraw money, only to be caught by People's Bank security. Qin Ming identified himself, provided the information, proved that the card was his, and got the money and card back. Li Meng, on the other hand, was miserable. She cried and hugged Qin Ming's thighs. Qin Ming, I was wrong, please forgive me. You are willing to pay back the Nai family 100,000 for me, so you don't care about this time, okay? Qin Ming said with disgust, I thought you were just a gold digger, but I didn't expect to go this far. You go explain to the police. Qin Ming ignored Li Meng, she hurried back, couldn't keep her sister waiting. And at this time, the luxury fashion store, Qin Ming just left, that fat lady in an extremely comfortable mood, she said loudly, no need to package it, just bring it here, I cut it up, let these two country poor pan by pure stand? Cut lips fierce catfish star? Forgive tea visit? The eggplant-shaped way persuaded sweat can be sacred road. Summer Americium impeachment ingot and wisdom bridal veil see? The yell fold. The rich woman has swiped her card, the dress already belongs to her, the female guide although the heart of this luxury store town treasure, but she cannot change. This is already humiliating people with money and hurts their self-esteem the most. Qin Susu seems to like that address hesitant to move. But there is no way, in the midst of a hissing sound, the rich woman has cut the dress, she cut while looking at Qin Susu, the more the latter is sad, the more she is excited, what a pervert. Qin Susu could not look at it anymore, choked and ran out, she did not understand, she is a girl, like beautiful clothes, what is wrong? Even if you don't have money to buy, is it necessary to suffer this kind of crime? Seeing Qin Susu's sad appearance, the rich woman was unusually excited and couldn't stop smiling. This is a dress? Is this cut money? No, this cut is a person's dignity. And Qin Ming rushed back, but did not see his sister, only a rotten clothes, he gasped, holding the card, dumbfounded, he knew it was too late. The rich woman was also cool, threw the scissors and cursed, see? Can't even afford to give your woman what she likes, pure pan can? Huan sheet? Heiress. The actual fact is that you can't get a good deal on your own. The project is a good idea. The rate of the company's business is not only a matter of the company's business, but also a matter of its business. The company's business is a company that has been in the business for many years. The information is very rustic, stand shell hunt beer. The actual fact is that you can find a lot of people who are not able to get a good deal on a lot of things. Wait for me, how to sell the clothes? You buy clothes, or luxury goods, like to spoil the good clothes so. The female shopper knew that Qin Ming was a poor Panjun. The cut lacks tear into the rooting of the Australian. The actual fact is that you can't get a good deal on your own. The insects are not the same, but they are the same. The school is a very good place to start. The main reason for this is the fact that it is not a good idea to have a good idea. Badger mode. The company's main business is to provide a wide range of services to the public. The school is a great place to learn more about the world. The school is located in the center of the city. Eris. The company is a member of the board of directors. The company's main business is to provide a wide range of services. The Ministry of Health and Human Services has been working on a number of initiatives to improve the health and safety of the population. The company's main business is to provide a wide range of products and services. The actual liquid is usually a little bit of a problem. The rich woman said proudly, "That's right, this kind of look is a poor." The actual fact is that the actual person is a lot more than just a person. The actual fact is that you can't get a lot of money from the company. The actual fact is that you can find a lot of people who are not able to get a lot of money from the store. Who gave you face? The most important thing to do is to recognize your own essence. Don't daydream every day. Qin Ming had anger in his heart, but the clothes were rotten, there was no way to buy them, so he had to give up and go back to comfort his sister later. The rich woman said to the female guide, "Well, no more poor Pankin." The company's main goal is to provide the best possible service to its customers. The Cormorant Chen Ladle Dissection. Whip Humble. Ms. McTurney Design, Chanel Company. More than 20 people pure hand sewing, also in Paris Fashion Show on the Dream Girl Shine. Tisk, that dress has been in the fashion circle of great fame, your store can get into that one, but really good, I want to be late to be robbed. The female shopper greeted me with a smile, "Yes, it just arrived this morning, our boss has taken a lot of trouble to import this luxury dress, it will be the shining star of the party, the focus of everyone's attention. It will also be our new store's treasure." The rich woman was overjoyed and said, "Good, I bought it for my baby daughter, I've had my eye on it for a long time, just that one dream girl, how much is it?" The female shopper said, "Minus the original diamond hem swirl design, it only costs 480,000. Before the rich woman could say anything, Qin Ming spoke first, "I'll buy that dress, add the diamond hem swirl for me and count the total price." The people in the store were shocked and looked at Qin Ming strangely. Chapter 97. The rich woman is happy again, laughing, "Still think poor Pankin. Widow Sakura. Mount." The word apologize Buren hole in the wall. At stupid stand. The indica unit is a consternation curtain. The Kono apologizes for cutting this good office pumping syncretic earth. The woman shopper is also impatient, "Tisk, you people don't make trouble, okay? We open the door to do business, although you can come in to see, but do not have money to buy, do not stay to lose face." Another female shopper threatened, "You hurry up and go, if not I'll call the police, no money here," blindly messing up. Qin Ming's face was gloomy, the world really depends on money, no money anywhere to suffer white eyes, no money is like a pile of mud on the ground, let people trample. He secretly shook his head, thinking back to this morning to buy a house, those female sales are much friendlier, are women, how the gap is so big. The female guide pushed Qin Ming and drove him out, saying, "Please, don't make trouble, poor." The pan-pleasing sheet. The consternation inverse. Volatile rice proud forgiveness. Suddenly, the female shopper's hand was pinched and backhanded behind her back, painful, her expression painful. Qin Ming looked back and was slightly surprised to see that Song Ying had arrived. The driver, Su Donghu, pushed the female shopper who pushed Qin Ming out of the way, owed a slight bow to Qin Ming's boss, then stood aside, motionless and on guard. Song Ying smiled apologetically. I'm very sorry, young master. After the phone call just now, I thought that you must be in urgent need of money, young master, and the card was lost, so I rushed over. Am I late? It was late, but he couldn't ask Song Ying to teleport over immediately after the phone call, right? After all, he was the one who asked Song Ying to find someone to decorate the house. However, it doesn't matter, it's good to buy an evening dress to make amends to his sister today. Song Ying handed over a gold-edged black card and said, Young master, this is our World Bank's Supreme Authority card, with no upper limit, just got it. In the future young master can take this card and swipe it at will. Qin Ming put away the card. This point Song Ying is very thoughtful. The rich woman and the shoppers were confused. What was this all about? This poor boy is really a rich man? But didn't you just not get the money? And his jeans are washed white, the knee is also worn a hole, in the hands of the disabled and broken Huawei $1,000 phone. However, this tall, long legs, wasp waist, large breasts, melon face of the breathtakingly beautiful professional beauty, her clothes and crystal earrings are worth a lot of money. The Rolls-Royce at the door was driven by her, with a powerful and tall bodyguard. These cannot be fake. The rich woman opened her mouth wide and could not speak. The female shoppers were dumbfounded, thinking that this time really look away, shame. Qin Ming said indifferently, well, I'll buy that dream girl. Counting the diamond hem swirl design, how much is the total? Yes. The female shopper hurriedly ran to the computer to check the information and said, that, sir, originally the gown is master handmade, and the best handmade lace, if with the outer layer of diamond swirls, then the total price has to be 88,800,000. And the diamonds also need to be sent from the Chanel Group's French headquarters to so on, the fastest will take 3 days. Qin Ming had seen the effect, but it was very stunning, beautiful, all the diamond sparkle can especially impress women's hearts. But he frowned and said, real diamonds. The female guide should say, of course, how dare we sell fake goods? We are the main store of Chanel dresses in Guangzhou. There are invoices and identification certificates. The general dress many people are rented, after all, expensive and not often wear, but the status of the noble people, are going to a party to buy a new one, the dress is never worn a second time, so as to appear out of class. Qin Ming felt that his sister deserved such a good dress. He held up the World Bank's gold-rimmed black card and said, okay, swipe it. The rich woman was suddenly startled, and seeing that Qin Ming had even paid the money, she hurriedly said, wait a minute, that's what I'm going to buy. Qin Ming glanced at it indifferently and asked, oh? You mean you can afford it? The rich woman froze, originally brought 500,000 yuan to, that is Zhozhou, before in order to show off the rich, bought a set of 88,000 cut rotten, but even without pretending, she also not enough money. The rich woman said vainly, I do not want the outer diamond swirl hem, I want the dress can be. I arrived first, I still have an appointment. This boy and I raised a bar it? Your woman have run away, you buy back what? I give my daughter to wear, she is to attend a very important party, she wants to be the most attention princess in the room, you a big man to buy back what is the use? Qin Wei gave her a look and said, buy back. Cut bad, but still okay? What do you care? Rich woman heard this, it is very difficult, this kid is not to humiliate her? Because just now she humiliated Qin Susu in this way. The rich woman stood in the same place looking shaky, she blushed, she was actually ridiculed by a poor kid she couldn't look up to. She was so powerless and humiliated that she wanted to find a crack and go in. When the two sides were at a standstill, a fashionable woman came in the door, she walked in the spirit of the rich woman and asked, Mom, have you bought the dress? I'm going to pick out a necklace later. The rich woman was a little embarrassed, stammering, and did not know what to say. Qin Ming looked at this woman, good posture, probably can be 80, carrying a coach bag, all bejeweled. The female shopper said, "Sorry, the dream girl was bought by this gentleman." The proud woman froze and looked at Qin Ming, then said disdainfully, "Bought? He? Poor." Pan Jun D sheaths to send a troubled Astatine shrug cut stand play. Bridge member de non fantasy lang? Ying. A cut off the cow. The Tarsus pure support no. Onion. The maid soot poor poke forgiveness. Er. The people around slightly embarrassed, at first they also thought so, until Song Ying drove over in a Rolls Royce, and then bought the dream dress that included all the design. The rich woman pulled her daughter and whispered, "Baby, Mom doesn't have enough money, how can I buy it?" The haughty woman immediately became angry, "Not enough to ask Dad? So important party, I want not to become the whole attention, which has no meaning. When we left home, you said that 400,000 would be no problem, and 100,000 for jewelry. How come it's not enough now? And do not want that set of diamond hem, Dad gave you 500,000 is not enough." The rich woman was embarrassed again, unable to answer in the face of her daughter's questioning. Qin Ming laughed mockingly, The female guide on the side kindly explained, "This little gentleman ordered the outer layer of the dress with the diamond swirl, the total price of the dress reached 88,800,000, so this gentleman is also given priority." What? The tall woman was dumbfounded, looking at the plainly dressed and unattractive Qin Ming. She was so angry that she gritted her teeth. "I have a membership to your store, and members have priority. You dare to sell to this poor first? Pan Jun? The first thing you need to do is to get a new one. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get the job done." The woman shopper is now embarrassed. Members do have greater access, but the dress, if the total price to buy, she can have more commission, although reluctantly, but the woman shopper still cannot help. Swish. Song Ying took out a Supreme VIP card and said, "This is your Chanel Global Supreme VIP card, any Chanel branch, must be priority service." The female shopper was shocked again and took the Global Supreme VIP card with trembling hands, entered it into the computer to confirm and said, Yes, so this evening dress can only be sold to this gentleman. This lady, I'm very sorry." The proud lady got angry. "Beauty, what kind of person are you to this poor little brother? Do you need to help him like this?" Song Ying said coldly, "I am her secretary, what's wrong? If you say one more bad word about our young master, I will tear your mouth." The proud woman was dumbfounded, as if she had lost her soul, and exclaimed, "What? How is that possible?" The corner of Qin Ming's mouth raised and said, "You." Chapter 98. Qin Ming saw that rich woman with a face of embarrassment. Her daughter was furious, questioning why she could not afford this gown, why she was preempted by Qin Ming, why she did not have a Supreme VIP membership. The high-spirited woman was furious. "I was promised this evening gown, otherwise how can I go to the Huail Night Fashion Charity Party? Won't I be ridiculed if I go? Wouldn't I make a fool of myself if I went? I've never seen such incompetent parents. With a mother like you, I'm really ashamed." The rich woman's face turned blue and white, facing her daughter's accusation. She could not refute it at all. She couldn't help it, the other party was too rich. The rich woman said awkwardly, "Baby, change one, okay?" The proud woman directly waved off her face and said, "How can that work? I have bragged to my friends, it is the set of Dream Girl. Without this set of clothes, how can I become the focus? How can you be so useless? How can you be a parent? I can't even afford a dress, and I have to be ridiculed, shame on me." The rich woman was drained and said pitifully, "But, that's all your father has." The corners of Qin Ming's mouth lifted and said, You are eating your own words. Don't think that being rich is great, because you never know where people richer than you will pop up. Qin Ming paid the money and took the invoice sheet, because to embroider the diamond up, it would take 3 days at the earliest, so he could only come back in a few days to get it. After leaving the luxury clothing store, Song Ying said that because Ho Qing was temporarily transferred, the chief team leader of the whole South China region, Qi Yundong, would temporarily come to take over the business in Guangcheng, and asked Qin Ming if he would go to meet. After thinking about it, Qin Ming asked Qi Yundong to come to the villa at the top of Cloud Mountain tonight and have a meal by the way. After the business deal, Qin Ming called his sister, but she hung up in seconds, which made him helpless, guessing that his sister was really angry and also Li Meng was too bad to steal his bank card. Qin Ming called his big brother again. "Brother, it's me." Qin Ming said, "Why did you come without saying anything?" Qin Xiaoyang laughed on the phone, "You usually have classes and part-time jobs on weekends, it's not good to disturb you. Moreover, my brother came to Guangxi this time is also to find a job, to catch up, wait for your vacation." Qin Ming was slightly surprised. He remembered that Qin Xiaoyang has been helping people in his hometown to do odd jobs, talked about a girlfriend named Wang Feng, also has 4 years, almost talking about marriage. Qin Ming snickered, "What's wrong? You and Phoenix's love affair is over? Come out to find a job to save money for the wedding." The phone was silent for a while. Qin Ming's heart thumped and he had a bad feeling. Qin Xiaoyang said, "Feng she dislikes me poor, has not been able to build a new house to marry her. Her family set up, took 50,000 bride price, she ran away with a contractor, came to Guangcheng, I came to find her, while working to find, I want to ask a statement." Qin Ming cursed in his heart, again this gold-digging woman, this social climate. In the end what happened? Everywhere is this kind of money worshippers. 4 years of affection, is not worth 50,000 yuan. Qin Ming's heart laughs at itself, their brother and brother can really difficult brother, one of the same betrayed by a woman. Qin Ming said, "Brother, it's okay, I have money now. How much do you want? I'll call you." But unexpectedly, the elder brother Qin Xiaoyang yelled, "You do not mess around. I also know about your affair with Li Meng. She doesn't mind that you're poor, she's been with you for 2 years, and you abandoned her? Can you afford her? She is a girl from the big city, it is not easy to follow you. Your part-time job is not easy to earn money, you buy some gifts to coax her. When you graduate later, find a decent job and live a good life is the right way." Qin Ming a black face, "Why do you all think Li Meng so perfect?" Qin Ming said, "No, big brother, I really have money, I can pay for you to build a house in your hometown. You give me your card number. You have to build a new house in your hometown, I reckon Sister Feng will run back on her own." Big brother Qin Xiaoyang was completely unconvinced and said, "All right, you study hard. Just now, my younger sister called me and said that you are still pretending to be a tycoon to scare people in luxury stores for the sake of face. Xiaoming although we are poor, but never false, poor is not a shame, do not steal or rob, eat with their hands, what shame? But poor and so hypocritical to be ashamed." Little sister said to go to Li Meng that, "You go coax them." At this time, the phone came from the other end of a brash voice, roared, "Qin Xiaoyang, do you want to fucking do it? Just come to the site on the phone to talk incessantly, do not do it or get out, there are more people to do it." Yes, the supervisor is sorry, I will work immediately." Qin Ming listened to the heart a little sour, he must not let the big brother continue to do, he said, "Brother, you again which site? You tell me, I'll go pick you up." Qin Xiaoyang fierce sentence, "All right, you do your thing, do not look for me. You come to find me angry, you look after yourself. Coax your girlfriend Li Meng and little sister to go. Hang up. Doo-doo." Qin Ming licked his lips pursed, standing on the roadside, his heart blocked. Everyone in the family knew he was used to being poor, thought he was lying when he said he was rich, and were not willing to spend his money. Especially in a big city like Guangzhou, consumption is bottomless pit. Qin Ming twice to play money home, were returned, but also was said to save for future marriage, buy a house with. Alas! Qin Ming silently sighed as he pondered, what would he have to do to change his family's impression of him and think he could earn a lot of money? $1 million directly to mom and dad's account? No, Qin Ming shook his head. Based on what he knew about his parents, they would think Qin Ming had done something illegal. Announcing directly that he inherited Chang Hongxi's entire estate? Their son became the richest man in the world? No, it's not the right time yet. Many people are eyeing him as the heir yet. If he does anything wrong, his family will be implicated. It seems that the foreign mercenaries yesterday directly kidnapped Nai Haitang. The purpose is to lure him to show up. Not to mention those foreign mercenaries, if they are honest family suddenly rich, but also easy to attract some desperados, or good drugs, good gambling people to bring his family bad. Especially Qin Susu is only 18 years old, it is easy to change character, become likely men, gold digging, ungrateful. These are not what Qin Ming wants to see, not for the sake of money, throwing away the original purity. Directly give money cannot. Then you can give work well. Qin Ming felt that he got some personal business, and then transferred to the family might be better. This is to teach people to fish than to teach people to fish. Earn money legally and explain reasonably to make a fortune. He has become the richest man in the world, it's still easy to help his family start their own business. After he figured it out, he felt that he needed to plan well so that his family could have decent jobs and still recognize Qin Ming's current abilities. Back at school, Qin Ming had to start catching up on his homework, and by the way, think about what jobs were available for his big brother to do in the city of Canton. He went to the library with his books in his arms, but halfway there was a patch of flowers and balloons that decorated a whole college road. There were also some people wearing heavy cartoon mannequin costumes, gathered in a row, holding flowers of. Qin Ming saw his class girl Zhang Xiaoyan, asked, Xiaoyan, what happened in front? So lively ah. Zhang Xiaoyan recognized Qin Ming and said, oh, Qin Ming, there is a man in front of the girl's pursuit, spent a lot of money, the whole school road covered with flowers and balloons. There are many people wearing dolls to set the mood, too romantic, in front of the garden, many people are watching the action. Qin Ming laughed and said, make such a big show, not afraid that suddenly the counselor kill out, they are arrested, ha ha ha, often see this kind of news online. Zhang Xiaoyan bristled, those old codgers do not understand the romance of young people. We are old even if we are not crazy. Qin Ming laughed. He does not like this kind of madness, so many people present, how much pressure that girl must be. Qin Ming does not like to get together with this kind of lively, he still went to the library. Suddenly, his cell phone twitched, he took out a look, but it was a message from Bai Yu Chun, Qin Ming, save me. Chapter 99. Next to the small garden open space of Hua Province University of Technology, next to the badminton court. Zhang Qingqing looked at the crowded open space, a girl was surrounded by many people wearing cartoon mannequin costumes, and there were many people around to make a commotion. Promise him, promise him. The scene was very lively. Zhang Qingqing sighed, ah, how Zhao Tuo how to pursue me how not to make such a big show. How romantic, flowers, dancing, all the attention. A girl said, President you see people driving Audi cannot move away from the eyes, I heard that the yacht will be sent to embrace, hey hey hey. Zhang Qingqing was furious, you stinky girl, to death ah. I did not throw myself at you. Also, don't mention his stupid yacht. Zhang Qingqing looked to the side, Nai Haitang was bored looking at her cell phone, he was immediately angry. Jiang Qingqing scolded, that guy Qin Ming really more and more excessive. I have said all the badminton court assembly, he actually did not come, not to come even if, but also did not say, think no one or two rich people forget who they are. He is still poor? The goblet. Nai Haitang turned back to a bitter smile. She waited hard for Qin Ming information all morning by good girlfriends found. The company's main business is to provide a wide range of products and services to its customers. So she decided, determined not to contact Qin Ming first, must let Qin Ming contact her first, then she will throw a tantrum, pouting, a good vent, and then give him a little sweet, save to think that she Nai Haitang is so well coaxed. However, all morning, Qin Ming, not to mention the phone, not even a text message. Nai Haitang's mood slowly became unbelievably bad, sitting alone in the corner of the court holding his chin, sulking. Jiang Qingqing knows that her best friend is sulking because of Qin Ming. She is also angry. Qin Ming that stink. Pan Kong concubine box. The company's main business is to provide a wide range of products and services to its customers. The board, take risks. The bad which stern L that enclosure? The first thing you need to do is to take a look at the actual website. The actual fact is that the actual person is not a person who is not a person. The other side is also one of our school's 3 schoolgirls. Oh, Bai Yuchun, and the name of the civilian schoolgirl. Oh, it's all those stink. The pan generous throw. The falcon blowing nehe. The door. The rift is noisy and dislike. Nai Haitang fiercely close to the iron net to look at the center of that small garden, sharp eyes on that girl, asked, what pure? Jiang Qingqing said, Bai Yu pure. E-commerce class, with us a courtyard it? The person who chased her is Wang Qinju. I heard it is a thug, temper is also very hot, usually in the school is very rude. In my opinion, this Bai Yuchun is also poor and unlucky, stalled on this kind of goods pursuit, but also her pretending what noble. Nai Haitang remembered last night, Qin Ming's cell phone said pure is not the one in front of you. Nai Haitang curiously asked, what happened to her? Jiang Qingqing explained, I heard that she used to be pursued by many rich second generation, including many good character of the rich second generation, but she did not see others, all refused. Rejected more slowly got fame, and provoked Wang Qinju such a douche. Must think it's fun to conquer this kind of woman, haha. What's the use of a woman who is beautiful again? Still not an appendage for men. Nai Haitang narrowed her eyes and disagreed with her best friend's words. She said, it's a new era, men and women are equal. I think she must have her own reasons for not saying yes. If a man likes himself because of his beauty, then it's the same reason as a woman likes a man because of money. It's not true, so she should reject it? Jiang Qingqing could not understand. Women look beautiful, popular, natural justice. Men with money are successful, social laws. Haitang, you must be a little girl's fairy tale romance novels read too much. Anyway, women are to be written by men, to whom is not to give. It's only wise to give a good one. Nai Haitang disagreed, the shoes are beautiful, but you have to wear them to know if they fit. If it was someone else who disliked her like this, Jiang Qingqing would have to have a fit and curse, but the other party was Nai Haitang. She was unexpectedly good-tempered and took Nai Haitang's hand and said, come on, my missy, don't raise the bar with me. Then you see, can that Bai Yuchun withstand so much pressure? Nai Haitang did not want to know whether Bai Yuchun could withstand the pressure, she only wanted Qin Ming to call her. At this time, the central location of the small garden, romantic love songs are playing, a few people in doll clothes dancing. Wang Qinju, a senior student, touched a bouquet of fiery red passionate roses and knelt on one knee in front of Bai Yuchun to show her love, hoping to say yes to him and be his girlfriend. Bai Yuchun just afraid to shiver. She was just going back to school to do a part-time job, but she was surrounded by these people. She was holding the Vivo $1,000 phone that Qin Ming bought for her, and she was silently waiting for Qin Ming's reply. "Senior Qin Ming, help me." Qin Ming, outside the crowd, took out his phone and was surprised when he saw this text message: Bai Yuchun was in danger again? He immediately returned the WeChat message: "What's wrong?" Soon Bai Yuchun replied again: "I was pestered by a classmate, he insisted that I be his girlfriend, I said no, he still refused and wouldn't let me go." Qin Ming was stunned, looked back at the small garden behind him and asked, "You weren't inside the school, surrounded by people there in the small garden, were you?" Bai Yuchun returned, "Eh? Are you there too?" What should I do? So many people, they are too noisy, maybe I refused and he couldn't hear me." Qin Ming walked to the high place, and sure enough, in the empty place of the small garden, Bai Yuchun was confessed. In fact, the university confession is very common, but to make such a large can really not see, that row of flowers, and several Mercedes cars around a circle of love, have to be a lot of money. It is estimated that there are also a lot of group performances around and to set the atmosphere, the use of mass pressure, so that Bai Yuchun nod. However, that courting people are too underestimated Bai Yuchun, right? Bai Yuchun appearance soft, but inside is a group of tenacious, rather than give up the type of death. Qin Ming to the phone Weibo, said, "You walk over, take the flowers, and then a foot on the ground, not on the end, who can see that you refused? He can't ignore it even if he's thick-skinned." Bai Yuchun again flew down to type, but he still won't stop. Qin Ming continued to stump, said, "Then you raise your arm, signaling the crowd to be quiet, while everyone is shut up, you say, 'You have a favorite, is not finished?' If you get this far and he still has the chutzpah to stop, then you can slap him. You can rest assured that I will come to your rescue." Bai Yuchun was still very worried. Once she heard Qin Ming's last sentence, "I will come to save you," she immediately had the courage inside. Qin Ming is her lucky star, Qin Ming never let her down, what Qin Ming said, must be right, Qin Ming is the courage of her heart. Bai Yuchun, under the attention of all the people, reached out to receive that rose in the hands of Wang Qinju. Chapter 100. Bai Yuchun put away the phone, eyeing Wang Qinju in front of him. Wang Qinju's body is quite tall, Chinese face, has a fierce look, in the school is a bully, before also launched an attack on Bai Yuchun, but Bai Yuchun did not say yes. Because Wang Qinju's way of pursuit makes her annoying and disrespectful. Now that she has found so many people surrounding her, it also makes her very stressful. She didn't have any friends in college, she could only think of Qin Ming, who taught her, and she decided to do that. She reached out and took the flowers. Oh! The crowd let out a cheer and an applause. Not long after, the group quieted down, and everyone's eyes fell on Bai Yuchun, thinking she was going to say yes. Wang Qinju's face rejoiced, and the original face of sincerity turned into lust. He coveted Bai Yuchun for more than a year, during the period with some other rich second generation to compete. Bai Yuchun, when they are like air, every day is either part-time work or part-time job, as if they do not know that they compete for Bai Yuchun all kinds of the same. Wang Qinju heart is also angry, think Bai Yu pure so-called high cool, pure are pretending, he has seen less pure good girl, after he took, bed became how the shape of the rect, Nina Wang is he is to jerk friends provide a lot of good material. He heartily despised Bai Yuchun, such poor family girl, think she is just rely on their own good looking, self-raising, to attract. Pan look stirrup asshole? The company's main business is to provide a wide range of services to the public. The heron is happy? Pro put minced meat camel forgiveness. Wang Qinju heart laugh, the civilian school flower, youth poor family girl, ice and purity, those poor? Pank apologizes. Mingang damsel aluminum shuo can be tum sai ying? Tarsus stun take? Mount. Therefore, The poor are not the same as the poor. The first thing you need to do is to get a good idea of what you're doing. At the side of the badminton court, Jiang Qingqing saw the scene and said, "Look, under such pressure, she can't be reserved. Come on, I'll be the banker. How long does Wang Qinju get tired of playing? I'll press $300, about 3 months. Fang Jinsheng said sourly, "How many girls, for nothing to the pigs to spoil. I guess 2.5 months. I'll bet 100. A girl said, "I press 300, I think it has to be half a year, this by you pure hard working, good grades, a mouthful of business English is very smooth, quite famous in the university city, beautiful enough Wang Qinju everywhere to show off." Nai Haitang held her chin and said, "Boring, how miserable that girl is, being bullied like this, and no one to save her. Tisk, those so-called men who are pursuing her, none of them dare to go against Wang Qinju." Jiang Qingqing sneered, "No money and no power really dare, so, looking for a man cannot find Qin Ming kind of wimp poor pussy." When it comes to Qin Ming, Nai Haitang looked at Bai Yuchun not far away, thinking in her mind, if she is one day forced by people she does not like, around no way to go, Qin Ming will not rush out from the crowd, pulling her to escape. How romantic would that be? The crowd was watching, but saw Bai Yuchun will be a symbol of love of the fiery red roses slowly high, over the top of his head. A hard fall, in the crowd's shocked gaze, thrown on the ground, in front of Wang Qinju. None of the onlookers were moved. She refused. Then, Bai Yuchun stretched out cheap white cloth shoes to step on that rose. Quiet, the surrounding people were terribly quiet, as if they saw something unimaginable. People who are familiar with Wang Qinju know that this person is a thug, good face, like to gang up on the school horizontal walk, even some teachers are quite afraid of him. Bai Yuchun dropped the rose, but also stepped on a foot, the crimson petals are crushed, stepped on the face of Wang Qinju. Wang Qinju had a smile on his face, this time completely embarrassed, his face was grim, he was still half kneeling. Bai Yuchun looked around, it was quite quiet, she gathered her courage and said loudly, "Sorry, I have someone I like. Please don't harass me anymore." The campus, which was noisy, became pin drop. Some people took the camera and filmed the video, very excited inside, "This is a good show, send on the shake sound must be fire." Some people were so excited that they cried, perhaps after this day, his secret crush on Bai Yuchun will be known. Some people are ecstatic, worthy of being one of the 3 school girls, said no matter how many tricks you do or no, he has hope and opportunity again. Qin Ming, on the other hand, was bargaining with a delivery boy for his food delivery battery car. "Your grandpa, your car is so broken, 2,000. A new car can be bought. The car is sold to you, I have to work today not. The boss wants to deduct my money, buy or not, 2,000 not 2 prices. Okay, helmet to me, right, hungry blue vest also to me, forget it, these 2 have not sent boxed lunches also to me." Small garden in the center, Wang Qinju black face, this is a big loss of face, chasing a woman for a year, with people for so long was also treated as air, and finally to a sea of flowers courting, but also rejected, how he went back to drink with his brothers bragging. Where can he put this face? Toilet. Wang Qinju became irritated and said, "Your sister-in-law doesn't like red roses, bring blue roses." Immediately, a little brother came over with a bunch of blue roses. Wang Qinju kicked the little brother and cursed, "What a nuisance, damn it. Bai Yuchun, you must like the blue roses. If you don't like it, you will become like him." Bai Yuchun looked at the little brother who had been kicked, holding his stomach nestled on the ground and drawing out, very painful. He was a threat. Bai Yuchun shivered with fear, her heart kept calling out to Qin Ming, "Qin Ming, will you come? Have you come?" Snap. Bai Yuchun still believes in Qin Ming inside, she directly slapped over, although not much force, but the hit is not the pain of flesh, is Wang Qinzhi's dignity. The crowd was shocked again, have silent mourning for Bai Yuchun, she did too decisive, slapped Wang Qinzhu in public. This can completely anger Wang Qinzhu, I'm afraid the end will be very miserable. Wow! Many people let out a gasp of surprise at this, didn't they say that the civilian school girl was friendly and easy to bully? Nai Haitang clapped her hands happily, well done, that's how it should be. We girls are not at the mercy of those stinky men. The atmosphere was awkward for a while, the music was gone, and the cartoon doll costume people did not dance. Wang Qinzhu froze for a while, his surprised expression gradually twisted and twitched, and finally turned into a roar, bitch. You seek death. Bai Yuchun panicked, she hurriedly looked around to find, where is Qin Ming? There are people around, she cannot see Qin Ming. Is Qin Ming just saying that? Bai Yuchun wanted to escape and ran a few steps in the small garden, but heard Wang Qinzhi shouting in annoyance, stop her, dare to hit me, fall on my face, bitch is pretentious. I see your pity, follow me to eat and drink what is not good? Damn, don't give shame. Bai Yuchun couldn't run out, there were Wang Qinzhi's minions in front and behind her, she was at the end of her rope. As she fled, her mouth chanted, Qin Ming, where are you?